Hello, everyone. So my name is Nancy Giordano, and I've written a lot about what it takes to what I describe as play bigger, right? What are the organizations? How do they think? How do they show up in a way that I think holds us all well? So that is what we will be centering this conversation on. To be more specific, we talk about the path to profit or shareholder value, quote unquote, versus stakeholders, right? We would like to not have this be necessarily a tug of war between the two. But as AI has become more ingrained in sectors that directly impact people's lives, the question of monetization, right, and social impact certainly becomes increasingly essential that we actually talk about it and have a tremendous amount of intention around that. The most efficient and effective way of being able to drive innovation and distribute innovation. So there's a lot of responsibility that sits on businesses' shoulders to be able to do so thoughtfully. And maintaining trust in this world and in this environment becomes increasingly, it should always be paramount, but it's certainly at the forefront when we think about the fact that it's not just about our customers, but it's also about having employees that want to come work with us, partners that want to work with us, investors who want to invest with us, communities that want us to do business in their neighborhoods, right? So how do we ensure that we're building the kinds of organizations in the future that people want to work with? So what does it take to ensure both relevance economically and have a social license to operate in the world of exponential tech? So I think that we aren't going to have like one way of doing any of this stuff. I just think that in general, the idea that any job that either a robot can do or an AI can do, the question will be, is that really a human job? And are we trying to hold on to jobs so that we can protect an economic system that we may have outgrown? If you read Ray Kurzweil's new book about the singularity is nearer, you'll believe that there's a whole set of nanobots that will surround our neocortex and create all kinds of superpowers that we as humans can't even imagine that we have yet. So how do we prepare economically for that kind of world is, I think, the question. And I just think that we haven't built the scaffolding for this new era that we're heading into, right? When we head into the industrial era, we built an education system, because that didn't exist before. We created regulations around environmental protection. We made sure that children didn't work in factories. So, we did all kinds of scaffolding to make sure that that worked. We haven't built any scaffolding for this new exponential world that we're heading into, and I think that's the conversation that we should have when we start talking about the future of work and working. If you look at it through an economic model, but all of that capacity is there dormant, waiting to be released, if we can think about it through a different economic lens.